everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is Erica from Confessions of a Homeschooler, and I have had a ton of video requests for knitting, beginning knitting tutorials, what supplies do I need, etc. So that is what we're going to do today. So I'm going to be doing a shorter series of videos to tackle each different knitting stitch or technique or task, so that you can just look up exactly what you need and just find that video. For this video, I'm going to talk about basic supplies. That is actually one of the most frequently asked questions I get. What kind of yarn is best for a beginner? What kind of needle should I try? What is the difference between the needles, etc. So let's go ahead and just dive right in. So as far as beginning knitting yarn goes, I highly suggest getting a yarn that's a little bit lighter in color. Dark yarn like black yarn is extremely hard to knit with, just because it's really hard to see. It's hard to see your stitches to tell if you've made a mistake, where the next stitch is and things like that. And so I definitely suggest starting with a lighter color yarn. I also suggest staying away from something like this bad boy right here. This might be really fun and pretty, and I am going to use this in a unicorn project I have for my daughter. But if you are a beginner knitter, this is going to be extremely difficult for you to see your stitches, to see what you're doing, what you need to do next, etc. So stay away from any kind of crazy art yarn. You're going to want to get something, like I said, that's kind of a medium weight. Something like this would be good. Something that's a little bit lighter color. These Karen cakes that you can find at Michael's and Joann's are also really good. This is a medium weight 4 yarn. Pretty easy to see, but still fun colors, nice and easy. You could even go with something a little bit bulkier. This is a buttercream Luxe Craft Alpaca Solid, and what size? This is a super bulky 6. This might be a little bit cumbersome. I wouldn't go super bulky if I were you, but just something in the medium weight range. I definitely wouldn't go super thin like lace weight yarn. That will also be difficult. So find a middle ground yarn. And then as far as needles go, on the back of your yarn ball, it will tell you exactly what you need. So it'll tell you washing and care instructions, but it will also tell you your knitting needle size and your crochet hook size. So just find some yarn that you like and then get the needles that it suggests on the back. Stay away from super thin and super bulky. Stay away from kind of crazy lumpy bumpy art yarn. Get something in the medium range that's easy to see so you can see your stitches and what you're doing. And that's my advice for picking yarn if you are a beginner. Let's talk about needles. There's a lot of different kind of needles out there, and I have a few right here. So these particular needles that look like this are just straight needles, and as you can see, they're pointy on one end and then they've got these stoppers on the other end. Let me see if I can get a little bit closer to show you here. So they've got these stoppers on one end and then they're pointy on the other end, and that is so that your stitches do not fall off. And so if you are a beginner, I think that doing just some straight needles, whatever is suggested by your yarn again, is probably a good way to start. That way you won't have stitches slipping off the back and getting frustrated. Straight needles come in both metal. Let's see, these ones I have are plastic. I also have some wooden ones here. Another thing I like to suggest for beginners, depending on how kind of tight your grip is wooden needles, partially because they don't slide as much. So your stitches won't be sliding off the end, which can be kind of frustrating. I use these when I taught my daughter how to knit. She is now 10 and she knits with metal needles because, truth be told, metal needles tend to be faster than wooden needles. There's a lot of drag on these needles. The yarn kind of catches so it doesn't slide as easily. So you might want to just try both and see which one you prefer. If you're not worried about stitches sliding off with the metal needles, those are my preferred needles just because they are faster and I can get going faster with those. But when you're a beginner, sometimes the wooden needles can help. I think these are bamboo, and they can just create a little bit more drag so you don't have things sliding around on you so much. So straight needles are good for things that you are going to knit flat, like scarves or swatches, things like that. Obviously your project can't really be much longer than your needles or it's going to be kind of frustrating, so nothing super wide on these. As you can see, hopefully here, they do come in a variety of lengths. So this one comes out to here and the wooden one is to here. I'm not sure if you guys can see that very well. But again, you want to get what's specified for your project. In here are my DPNs, or double pointed needles. These are good for things that you're going to be knitting in the round, like socks, hats, things like that. And so I have this little needle case here that I keep them all in, and I do have a tutorial on my YouTube channel and blog for this, so you can check that out. It's just called knitting needle or crochet hook, knitting needle case, I think is what I called it. But it's good for crochet hooks and things like that. But double pointed needles look like this. And as you can see here, they've got a point on both ends. And like I said, they're good for knitting in the round because you can knit off this side and then keep going and knit, just keep knitting in a circle. If you had an end on here, then you wouldn't be able to keep going. So hopefully that makes sense. Probably will once we get further on in our tutorials. These typically come with 5 needles in a set. And like I said, that's so you can kind of have 4 on your project and then 1 working needle. All right, and the next kind of needle I have to show you today are my interchangeables or circular needles, and they come 2 different ways. Some come where the tips are already on the cord, and these are interchangeables that I'm going to show you, and that's where you can actually change out your cord, put different length cords on different size tips. So here is kind of a close-up of what those look like. As you can see, there's a cord. They are flexible. They've got 2 knitting needles on one side, and then these cords come in different lengths. These are good for things that you're going to be knitting in the round, but you can also knit flat with these. Some projects that I like to use these for are hats. You can also use them for scarves. Of course, you'll want a longer cord on here. A lot of people use these for knitting sweaters and things like that. So these can be super, super handy. You can knit, like I said, in the round or flat with these, and so I tend to kind of stick to these. I almost never reach for my straight needles at this point. I always use these even if I'm knitting something flat. The benefit to these, like I said, this is actually a solid piece, so this is a good hat size right here, but my interchangeables come like this. So you've got 2 little tips, and then you've got a variety of sizes of cords, and then of course you can put whatever size cord on your tips that you need, and they just screw on. You probably can't see it very well there, maybe you can, but there's just a screw on the end of that, and then they just screw right into here, and there's a little tool to help you tighten those up. And I will insert a video here as I'm talking as well, showing you kind of what that looks like and how to put these on and off. That makes them really handy. Interchangeable needle sets are a little bit more expensive, but they usually come with a variety of sizes of needles and a variety of sizes of cords. This is kind of what my case looks like. I also do have a tutorial for this as well, and I've got cords in these back pockets and then all of these different size needles. One of the reasons these are kind of handy is because I tend to have just about every size I need just in this one kit, and like I said, I have a variety of size of cords, so I can kind of do almost any project that I want in this kit right here without having to go out and buy a new needle size every time I start a new project. So those are the main kinds of knitting needles, and honestly it really just depends on what kind of project you're going to do as to which kind of needle you're going to want to do. Let's go ahead and talk about a few more supplies that you're going to need when you're knitting. Knitting is really easy. Pretty much all you need is some yarn, some needles, some scissors. Really, there aren't a whole lot of extra supplies you need when you're knitting, but I am going to cover a few of my favorites. So of course you're going to need some nice little scissors here, and these are for warm crochet. These are some of my favorites. Not only are they pretty, but they are also really high quality and nice and sharp. So I always have a little pair of scissors in almost all of my knitting bags because you will always be looking for these. Another good thing to have in your knitting bag is some kind of little tape, measuring tape. This is good for, especially if a pattern is saying, you know, knit until your piece measures 5 inches or something like that, you know, if your brim measures 2 inches, etc. It's really nice to have one of these, and this just wraps right up. I will be putting links for all the supplies that I'm referring to in the description box below this video, so you can click show more, and there will be links on where you can find things like this. But that's always a nice little handy. Not a must-have though. I do like having this, but it's optional. The next thing I like having is highlighter tape. Now, when I first started knitting, I was like, what is this and why would I want it? But as you can see, it actually highlights your pattern. So highlighter tape is actually a really handy way to keep track of where you are in your pattern. You can just pick it up. It's like movable basically, so you can pick it up, put it under the row you're on, knit that row, pick it up, move it down to the next one, because you would be surprised at how often you forget which row you're on by the time you get all the way around to the other side of your project. Especially if it's a larger project, you know when you start out, but then by the time you're halfway through towards the end, you're like, wait a minute, which one was I on? So this is actually a really handy way of keeping track. This is also a great tool to use if you are doing something that is charted with color work, something like that. You can keep this on your little chart so that you know exactly what row you're on. So I do like having this highlighter tape in my bag as well. The next product you might want to have in your bag are some stitch markers, and I pretty much use these on every single project. I knit a lot of things in the round, so you'll always want to have one of these at the beginning of your round so that you know when you've made it all the way around. I also use these, and this is a good beginner tip. If it says to cast on, say, 90 stitches, I will place a stitch marker every 10 stitches, so that once you start getting like things like 90 or 200 stitches on your knitting needles, it can be really frustrating to have to go back and recount. And it's like every time you count, you never get the same stitch count twice. So I really like to use these. I've been doing this ever since I started knitting. It's a great beginner tip. Every time I cast on 10 stitches, I will add a new marker. And then if I can't remember, I can just double check and quickly recount those 10. If everything's good, then when I'm like, say, down to 80 or somewhere up in those higher numbers, I can look back really quick and be like, oh, 10, 20, 30, 40. So that's just a little beginner tip. That's what I use these for. They will also be called for in different patterns as well, but as far as beginners go, I love using stitch markers to note my stitches. The other reason that's helpful is because if, for example, you are doing ribbing or something like that, you can put a stitch marker at the end. Let's say you're doing knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, something like that. You can put a stitch marker at the end of your purl 2s so that every time you hit a stitch marker, you know that your next 2 should be knits and the 2 before it should be purls. And that way, if you get mixed up, which it is easy to do, you can look at your stitch marker and you'll only have to pull back or fix maybe 10 stitches versus I made it all the way around my hat and I messed up somewhere back here at stitch number 5. So that's kind of a handy use for these as well. Another thing that you're going to want to have in your knit bag are yarn needles, and these are just nice big thick needles with quite a large eye hole opening. I always have these in my bags. You will use these all the time for finishing projects, weaving in ends, things like that. So I pretty much have one of these in all of my knitting bags. I also, if you noticed, have a little needle minder right here on my interchangeable case, and then I have one on this little flap right here as well for my DPN case. These and scissors are probably going to be one of your #1 used notions. Something else you may want to add into your bag is a little gauge counter and needle size gauge for you. This can help you if you're following a pattern and it says there should be 4 stitches in 1 inch and maybe 5 rows in 1 inch. That's how you can use this to make sure that your gauge matches whatever the pattern designer is saying so that your product will be the correct size. We can go into this in a little bit more depth. Some of them are larger than others. Some will be just a wide open square, and that allows you to count your stitches, like I said, across and up to make sure that you have whatever the pattern is calling for. These little holes will tell you what size your needles are, especially if they get out of their packages or lost in the bottoms of bags. This is always good to have in your bag. All right, and the last little product I wanted to show you, and there are a million different kinds of these, but are row counters. This is just a little ring, and I will try and do a close-up so you can see it a little bit better, but this fits right on my finger, and then every time I am done with a row, I can just turn it one more, and then I know what row I'm on. One of the reasons that I like this particular one is because, like I said, it just fits on my finger. It actually fits on several of my fingers. And so I don't really lose this. It's easy for me to just put this on my hand. I can be knitting, doing other things. I can get up, go make dinner, come back, and I just kind of have it with me. There are, like I said, are a lot of different row counters that you can use, and you can just toss them in your bags, but they are a little handy add-on, especially if you have a pattern that has a lot of rows, or maybe you're repeating rows 1 through 8 6 times or something. These are really handy for that because it is easy to lose track what row you're on. All right, so those are some of my favorite knitting supplies and notions, things that you're gonna kind of need if you wanna get started knitting. Again, I suggest you go with a nice medium kind of light colored yarn, not a lot of fanciness to it, just something fairly simple to get started, and probably straight needles, whatever size that the yarn is recommending to get started. So my next few tutorials that I will be uploading are going to be various knit stitches. We're gonna talk everything from beginning, how to cast on, a couple different kinds of ways to cast on, how to knit, how to purl, how to read a pattern, how to read charts, things like that. So those are all coming soon. If you have a specific one you're interested, please leave a comment below and I will try and make sure to film that tutorial for you as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video on beginning knitting supplies. If you did, can you please make sure to subscribe and give me a thumbs up? That way I know to keep making tutorials like this for you. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I will see you next time.